Hello. Now we're in a cost of living crisis. Growing your own vegetables has become a lot more popular. I was just reading in our daily paper today that here in the United Kingdom there are more applications than ever for allotments. That's areas of ground where you can grow vegetables, and in some instances there are waiting lists of 4 years. So, even though you'd like to give it a go, you might not be able to do that. Unless that is, of course, you watch the rest of this video and you give it a go at home. Now you might be saying, look, I've got a small garden, a small backyard, I can't get an allotment, there's no land for me to grow vegetables in. Have you ever thought about growing vegetables in buckets? Have you ever thought about a square foot bucket garden? Have you even heard of a square foot bucket garden? If you've heard of a square foot bucket garden, you've watched this channel. If you haven't heard of a square foot bucket garden, you need to watch this channel, you need to watch this video, and you need to search on square foot bucket gardens if you want to see a garden through a 12-month growing cycle, a square foot bucket garden through a 12-month growing cycle. Now what I'm going to do today is, it's late spring now in the United Kingdom. We haven't got into our summer months yet, and I haven't got a great deal going in these buckets at the moment. So we're going to go out and have a look at what I have got going, and then I'll cut you to a video that I shot last year, and I think it was about a month, 6 weeks further on in the growing year, so I had more to show then. And then every month after that I recorded another square foot bucket garden video and put it up just to show you the progress that I was making. In fact, I'm fairly sure there are a couple of reveals in those videos. I do recall revealing parsnips, beetroot, onions, potatoes, celery, leeks. It's all in those videos. You may not have a big backyard, you may not have a garden. You're waiting for an allotment, this is something you might want to give a go. Right, let's go out, we'll have a look at what we've got going now at this time of year, and then the video I'll cut you to is a month further down, 6 weeks further down the line, and that's a video that was shot last year. Hey, enjoy the video. Enjoy square foot bucket gardening. If you don't have the space, you don't have a budget, you can't get the land, this might be something for you to kick you off into growing your own vegetables. You're not going to feed a family doing this, but you are going to feed yourself. Vegetables in season, I think is the expression. Vegetables in season. You're going to have your own vegetables in season. You are. You definitely are. Right, let's go and have a look at what I've got going so far this year. These are 4 garlic cloves growing in this 10-inch ex-cut flower water bucket. They were planted last September, so that was the beginning of autumn, and we're now through into the back end of spring. So these 4 have been in this bucket outdoors through the colder months, and this is where they are today. This garlic's gone full circle. It's garlic I grew the year before, and I kept some of the garlic bulbs back and broke them off, and yeah, this is my own garlic. This is a courgette. The variety is Green Bush. I grew courgettes last year in what I termed courgette corner, or the zucchini zone. They're grown in buckets. One was grown in a bucket this size and one was grown in a bag this size. And from memory, I think I may have got about 10 courgettes off each. So it's definitely worth growing a courgette in a small water bucket. These are 4 shallots. This is one of the few vegetables you can get from the grocery store and regrow. You definitely can. I've grown these before. I've actually got 4 in this bucket. The last time I had 4 in a bucket, I think I got 25 shallots in return. Or did I take them early as green onions? I can't remember now. It was a few years back. But hey, if you want to give this a go, just get yourself some shallots from the grocery store. If you get them by weight, buy 4. If you're going to put 4 in a bucket, if you're going to put 6 in a bucket, get 6. And these will grow on now through into summer, into autumn, and then we'll harvest them. 4 shallots in a small bucket. Hey, dead easy. It's one of my strawberries growing in a bucket. Hey, they look healthy. They've been out all winter. This is the 2nd year for this strawberry. And these were bare root strawberries that I sent for. Boy, that was a nightmare. That was a nightmare. The bare root cuttings came in an envelope. The envelope was put together with some junk mail, bent in half and rammed through my letterbox. I'm not blaming the post lady. It didn't say live plants on the packaging. I'm blaming the people that I got the strawberries from for not marking them up properly. But anyway, some of them died. In fact, most of them died, but I got some away. This is one of them. And we're looking for some nice strawberries this year from this bucket. Okay, not much to see here. This is a carrot called Danvers. I think you'll agree that those seeds are really well spaced. There's no shoulder to shoulder carrots in there, and there's no shoulder to shoulder carrots in there because I used a template to sow them. Now if you want that template, search on my channel. You'll find a link to where you can get one of these templates. It's an homemade template, by the way. Fits perfectly in a 10-inch water bucket, but there's also a template for a 5-gallon bucket that fits perfectly. Hey, if you want that template, just send for it. Just find the link and do whatever the link asks you to do, and you get that template. So it's early in the year yet. These are only quite small. I've got them in a cool greenhouse at the moment, an unheated greenhouse. But as soon as the weather picks up, these guys will come outdoors, and then we'll just give them a drink of water from time to time. Hey, that's easy, isn't it? Yeah, come on. Okay, I've saved the easiest to last. You recognise this? If you're new to gardening, maybe not. If you're a gardener, you will. It's potato, growing in one of these small buckets. It's a single potato growing in one of these small buckets. Because it is a small bucket. If it was any bigger, I could probably grow more potatoes. But I like these because they're nice and light to lift, they're portable, and they're easily turned out. And one potato can easily deliver you a pound and a half, 2 pounds of potatoes. I know, I've done it. Now this is how simple it is. This is how simple it is. 2 inches of soil in this bucket. Garden soil will do. Cut a bit of compost in if you've got it. If you've got some fertiliser, maybe a little bit of potato fertiliser or bloodfish and bone, just whatever you've got. 2 inches in the bottom. Sit 1 potato in the middle, on the bottom, on that 2 inches. Top the bucket off with soil. Hey, you're gardening. You've planted a potato. It's so easy. Don't worry about watering. If the soil's moist, wait till you see some of this stuff appearing above the soil level, then start giving it a drink of water from time to time. In 4 months' time, 5 months' time, you're eating your own homegrown organic potatoes. No need to buy seed potatoes. Take one off the veg rack. If you've got potatoes indoors and they've got chits and they've got sprouts, one of those, give it a go. So easy. You'll be glad you did. Okay, I'm going to put you over to that video now. And remember, that's a month further down the growing year than these vegetables I've showed you today. A month along the growing year. Enjoy the video. And this is my square foot bucket garden. If you're a regular of mine, you'll know this, but because there are quite a few new subscribers coming to Homegrown Veg, probably because of the lockdown, and these might be new gardeners, I just want to explain what this square foot bucket garden concept is. So these are ex-cut flower water buckets. They're 10-inch diameter and 10 inches deep. They have holes drilled in the bottom to make them into pots. So these are the pots I'm growing in, these are the flower buckets I'm growing in, and there are 16 in a pattern 4 by 4. And that's a 4 foot by 4 foot footprint. If you've got a 4 foot by 4 foot footprint, you might be able to do this. Now it's fair to say now that some of these vegetables have just been brought out of the greenhouse for this photo opportunity. The carrots in front, the beetroot, celery, the parsnips, the lettuce are all still in the greenhouse because it's still too cold to set this square foot bucket garden up proper. But the other vegetables, they're all outdoors now, and hopefully in a month or so's time we'll get everything out of the greenhouse, we'll rebuild this square foot bucket garden and we'll take it through to its final conclusion, and hopefully that's to get some vegetables out of all of these buckets. Now rather than explain what's in each bucket, what I'll do is I'll take a bucket at a time, show you it, tell you what's in it, and then we'll rebuild this square foot bucket garden. Okay? Celery, spring onions, shallots, mint, chives, radish, potato. Parsnips. Onions. Wild strawberry. Garlic. Beetroot. Carrots. Kohlrabi. Lettuce. Turnips. So you've saw all the veg now, you can see what I'm growing. Some of the stuff in these buckets I've grown before. I've definitely grown lettuce and carrots, and would you believe it, parsnips. I've grown those in buckets before and had success. I've grown beetroot and I've grown celery in buckets and had success. And I've had a very good return from shallots and potato as well. You've got to see the potato refill on some of my videos. You won't actually believe what can come out of such a small bucket. I mean, these small buckets really do punch above the weight. I've never grown kohlrabi before. I have no idea how that'll go. The turnips, a purple sprout in Milan, I don't think they're a big turnip, so I'm hopeful that they'll be okay in the buckets, but I won't know. And I've never really had a success with garlic before. I have some garlic in yogurt pots at the moment, and it's died on me, and I think it's died because I've overwatered. Just because a plant looks sickly doesn't mean it needs more water. In fact, it might be the opposite, and I'm fairly sure it was the opposite, and I think I overwatered the garlic in the yogurt pots, and well, it's gone, it's finished. So I'm being very careful with the garlic that I've got going in these water buckets. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. It should be coming out within the next few days, and I suspect we'll all still be in lockdown. This is something you might want to do. There's a series on my channel about square foot bucket gardening. If you just type in on the search bar square foot bucket gardening, you should be able to find them, and that's a series I shot last year, and it's a series from start to finish, so you will be able to see me take in, I think we got some carrots over the finish line, some beetroot, we definitely got potatoes. I got a surprise when I harvested the parsnips, and yeah, I think we've got some celery over the line as well, and of course the mint and the chives and the strawberries. They're the plants from last year that they've just stood out over winter, and whenever we needed any of those, there usually was some. So it was quite a productive 4 foot by 4 foot area. And one of the other advantages this particular type of gardening has is that when you come to water these, water each bucket individually. There are no weeds involved here, and if one of the buckets looks quite sickly and you don't think those vegetables are going to make it, simply lift that bucket out of the pattern and replace it with another bucket. Now I have some spares growing, they're off camera. I think I've got some Zeebrunn chicken leg shallots, I've got some leeks, can't just recall what else I've got going, but I've got other buckets of vegetables off camera, and if any of these buckets look as though they're not going to make it, I'll simply take them out. And what you can do, if you've got a prevailing wind, and some of the buckets are getting more wind than others, and you feel as though they're being damaged, it's just like a flock of penguins sitting on your patio, sitting in your yard. Just move some from one side to the other. It's so easy, it's so easy. And when you harvest these vegetables, you don't disturb the vegetable next door. I mean, imagine a square foot garden, a bog standard square foot garden. Imagine taking a potato out of that. You're going to have to dig it out. You're definitely going to disturb the vegetables next to it. There's no way you can avoid it. Imagine trying to take parsnips out of a bog standard square foot garden. I mean, you've got to dig them out, literally dig them out. They do not want to come out. And you'll be disturbing all the other vegetables around the parsnips. With a square foot bucket garden, you simply take the bucket away and harvest the parsnips. Nothing gets disturbed. Everything just stays the same. And then you put another bucket in there if you've got one. And you do this for as long as you can. And then at the end of the year you wind it up. And that's another, hopefully, successful gardening year here at Homegrown Veg and wherever you're going to be growing your vegetables. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. Stay safe, do some gardening, and hey, any questions, just come back with them, just come back. But if you want to actually see what's possible in a square foot bucket garden, just search on square foot bucket garden, and you'll find about 6 videos that take you from this point in time where the garden is just being set up to the end point where vegetables are being harvested. And once you've seen that, I'm pretty sure you'll be giving this a go. Okay, so this is Homegrown Veg signing out.